Alright, hey guys, it's Asha. Welcome back to Reading with Toby. Today I am excited because I finally have a book haul for you all. There are quite a few books that I have accumulated since the last time I made a haul. I believe it was sometime this summer, so either June or July. And I have a lot. I like gathered them all. I was like, maybe I didn't do that bad this time. No. There are quite a few here. Like there's another stack behind me that you can't see. There's quite a bit. I have some wine here, so grab yourself something to drink, and we're just gonna have a nice little cozy video chatting about all the new books that I got. In fact, I actually have one book right here. We'll start with that one. I was taking a picture for it, an Instagram picture. Okay. So the first book we can talk about is this one here. This is Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Malors. I have already read this one and I really enjoyed it. This is a contemporary fiction following this couple named Cleo and Frank as they get married sort of impulsively, and then it goes into how that decision not only affects their life but then the other people in their lives. I really enjoyed this. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. I definitely recommend if you were looking for a like kind of like a sadder book. If you like following people around in New York and they're like sad, this is for you. There's also like some happy times too, but yeah, I really enjoyed this. So that's the first one. Next, I see that I have stacked are some classics. I have been getting into my classics recently, so I've been buying quite a few, but I have been reading them too, so that's good. So this is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. This is the Oxford World's Classic Edition. It is gorgeous and it is very floppy, which is one of the reasons why I got it. I am super excited to read this. I honestly don't really know what it's about, to be fair. I just know that people love this classic, and I'm going to be reading this for winter. It's chunky, but I'm excited. The next one we have here is The Bell Jar by Miss Sylvia Plath. This is the Faber and Faber edition, and I specifically bought this one because I love this cover. I also recently read this. I will link vlogs down below where I talk about all of these books, but I loved this book so much. This was actually a reread for me. This is another following people in New York and they're sad. You're following Esther in the 1950s. It's very much based off of Sylvia Plath's life, and yeah, Esther's in New York and she starts to like question her life, question things. Her mental health starts to decline very drastically, and I absolutely love this. Look at all of those tabs. Beautiful. The next classic that we have here is the Portable Edgar Allan Poe. I got it in the beautiful black spine edition. I love these for annotating. Like the paper is amazing to annotate in. I got this because I wanted to reread or read, I don't know if I read it before, Fall of the House of Usher. Woo! After I read What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher, I knew that I wanted to read that short story. I haven't read it yet, but I do want to read that, and then as well as some other Edgar Allan Poe's works. So I saw this really cool edition, and it has lots of his short stories, lots of his poems. It even has like letters in here that he wrote. It has some of his detective stories. So this is definitely something that I can like dip in and out of, and I'm very excited about this. The next classic we have is this one here. This is Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, another beautiful black spine edition. This one was actually gifted to me from one of my friends here in Chicago. He loves this book and he thought I would really enjoy it because it's very much about life, existential, makes you just like think about things, and yeah, he wants me to read it so we can discuss it. I have not gotten to it yet, but this is following. This was actually written originally in Greek by a Roman emperor who was also a philosopher. Without any intention of publication, the Meditations offers a remarkable series of challenging spiritual reflections and exercises developed as the emperor struggled to understand himself and make sense of the universe. So I'm excited for this one. I think I'm really gonna like it, and this will be another fun one to annotate. All right, another classic is Dracula by Bram Stoker, again in the Penguin Black Spine edition. I have read this one. Look at all those beautiful tabs, and yeah, I'm sure everyone knows what Dracula is about. This book was so great. I'm so glad that I reread it, because upon my reread I loved it. The first time I read it I gave it a 1 star. Second time I reread it, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I love this book so much. I highly recommend. Move the camera down just a little bit. Post Traumatic by Chantal V. Johnson. This is a new release that came out this year that I was super excited about. This is following a Black Latina lawyer, and she works mainly for these mentally ill patients in a New York psychiatric hospital, and I think you're following her as she's dealing with her own trauma, her own sadness. More sad people in New York. I love it. But yes, I'm super excited about this, and I love this cover. Cannot wait to read this one. Okay, next we have a fun horror, which I'm so excited to get to. This is The Hacienda by Isabella Cañez. I cannot wait to read this. I feel like she goes to this place and she finds out it's more sinister and haunted, and then I heard that there is a nice romance with a priest, which I'm excited about, which if you are a Fleabag fan, you will love that trope. So I'm excited to read this, and I've only heard really great things about it, so I am super excited to get to this one very soon. Okay, next we have The Overstory by Richard Powers. This book I actually lucked out and I found this at a little free library. So excited because I have been wanting this book forever. I read Bewilderment by Richard Powers, and it was incredible. One of my favorites last year, one of the favorite books I read last year. His writing is I'm speechless. It's incredible. It doesn't make sense how good of an author he is. So I'm super excited about this one. I think this is a overarching story following many different people, and it's based off trees and about trees, and I think there's a lot of science, but it's not a science fiction. It's a literary work, and it won the Pulitzer Prize. So I'm very excited to get to this one. It is a chunky one, but I think it's going to be beautiful and epic. Toby break. What book are you excited for, Tobes? You don't know? Next we have The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. I am very excited about this one. I love how this book is designed. I love the end pages. I love the little, what is this? I know most people know what this is about. This is probably one of the most hyped books I feel of this year, but I am excited for it. I do love a dark academia, a little bit of fantasy going in with it. I know the second one just came out or is coming out. Yeah, I'm excited to check it out, so we'll see. Okay, next, this one, I don't know if I've already shown this one or not. I don't think so. This is Black Mamba by William Friend, and look at that cover. I love it. The spine is amazing, and then the back. Daddy, there's a man in our room. I'm so excited about this one. I actually did start it. I only got 40 pages in, and I was really enjoying it, but it was one of those things where other books, I wanted to put other books as a priority, but I definitely want to get to this one soon. This one is another horror book, but I think this is more about grief, and you're following this dad, and he has 2 twin daughters, and yeah, they claim to see a man in their room, which sounds very creepy. And as I was reading it, it seems like the house that they live in may be a little bit haunted too. Who is this man that they keep seeing? I don't know. But horror books with creepy children, and then I love my horror with a little bit more depth to it. So this one about grief, I think I'm really gonna love this one. Next we have Long Live the Pumpkin Queen by Shea Earnshaw. This is definitely not something that I would ever pick up, but I just kept seeing it, and I love Nightmare Before Christmas. It's my favorite Disney movie ever. You can see I have a little Jack Skellington. So I saw this, and it's just so beautiful, and I saw it cheap on Pango Books, so I decided to get it. I do want to read it, and just I won't take it too seriously. I think it'll be fun, and the cover is so beautiful in person. Sally looks so beautiful. I cannot wait to read this. This is supposed to be after Jack and Sally get married, so we'll see what happens. I'm excited to meet all the other characters in this world, so yeah, that one there. Okay, next we have another horror book. Oh no, these are falling. Ah! Wait, let me try to make a couple stacks. Okay, next we have another horror book that I have already read. It was a little bit disappointing, and that is Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey. This is the most stunning cover. Beautiful, the colors. Oh my god, this is probably my favorite cover of the year. I don't know, I'll have to look through, but definitely one of my favorite covers like ever. This is so beautiful. I wish the story matched it. But this one, you are following this this woman as she goes back to her childhood home. Her father was a serial killer, and her mom is dying, so that's why she comes back to the home. And her mom have a very good relationship, and so you're following that, and like creepy things start to happen in the house. The ending is what some people don't like. See, okay, this isn't a wrap up, but see, I actually didn't mind the ending. I think it's how we went about getting to the ending. Like, if that was the ending that she wanted, I think she should have gone about it differently, because I actually didn't mind it. Getting there wasn't quite it, but this is still like a beautiful cover, and I do not regret buying it. Okay, another pink book that I bought is Night Crawling by Leila Motley. This was longlisted for the Man Booker Prize this year. One of the ones that I was most interested in. I bought the UK edition because look at this, stunning. I will be reading this very soon. I love the spine. This book is gorgeous. So this is following a black teen in Southern California. She has like a run-in with the police, and she ends up making a deal with them, and apparently this deal not only like changes her life but affects everyone's lives around her, and it sounds so good, and I have heard nothing but incredible things about this. I cannot wait to get to it. And this author, she is the youngest ever author to be nominated for a Man Booker Prize. That's incredible. So I cannot wait to read this. Time for some wine. Okay, next we have some, I think a lot of these are more horror books. I recently subscribed to a horror book subscription service called Nightworms. I will link my a video that I made about it down below. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I was just excited. So if you want to hear more about it, you can click that video. But I've gotten a lot of books from them because you get 2 books every single month. So I have a lot. So one of the books I got from them is this one here called Full Immersion by Gemma Amor. I love the spine. Another pink book. Speculative horror. I don't really know what it's about. I think a woman, she has been like trying to deal with trauma. None of it makes a dent. What's left? And then it says like she wakes up to a man standing over her, and then she's trying to run for her life. I don't know. It says intern brutal. Oh my god. Intern brutal, beautiful, and absolutely terrifying. Full Immersion is the latest speculative horror from Gemma Amor. This sounds so good. I cannot wait. A chunky horror. I'm excited about it. Okay, another chunky horror that I bought myself, that is Mary by Nat Cassidy, An Awakening of Terror. I am so excited about this one. Every time I see it, I just want to pick it up and read it. This one I really thought was going to be on the Goodreads horror nomination list, but it wasn't. I was really surprised. But this one, you're following an older woman as she starts to hear voices and is maybe embodying a past serial killer. I don't know. Sounds so great. I can't wait to read it. We have another book that I got in my Nightworm subscription box. That is What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. I have already read this. I read this in a 24-hour reading vlog where I read as many horror books as I could. I'll leave that video down below. But yes, this is the book that I was talking about that's based off the Edgar Allan Poe story, The Fall of the House of Usher. So there's that one. I love this cover, but I also love these end pages. So good. Okay, next we have Anybody Home by Michael G. J. Michael, I did that last time. I realized that I said G instead of J. Michael J. Seidlinger. This is an indie horror, another one that I got in the Nightworm subscription box, and I read this one. This one was so good, actually. This was like so much fun, entertaining, full of plot twists. I highly recommend. It is a home invasion horror story, but I promise you, you will not be able to guess or know where it's going. I really like this a lot. We have an anthology. This is Human Monsters, edited by Sadie Hartman and Ashley Sawyers. This cover is wild. This is another one that I got in the Nightworm subscription box, and this one is all about human monsters, which I cannot wait. The stories in here from like Josh Malerman, Stephen Graham Jones has a story which I'm excited about, Nat Cassidy, which is an author I just mentioned. Next, I finally got my hands on this sequel, that is Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. I'm so excited about this. I have read Strange the Dreamer years ago. The ending made me very angry. So I basically like protested reading the second book. The ending made me angry because it was just so obvious that it was made for us to buy the second book, and I didn't appreciate that. I love Strange, Laszlo Strange. He's one of my favorite literary characters ever. So I really want to get back into this world. I found this really cheap, so I cannot wait. This is a YA fantasy. Should I do a reading vlog where oh, look at that, gorgeous. So pretty. Should I do a reading vlog where I reread Strange the Dreamer and then read this one? Would anyone be interested in that? I feel like the series is so old, no one probably cares anymore, but it's something I was thinking. I love it. I love this cover. Okay, yes, so I'm super excited about that one. Okay, and then I picked up The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward. In fact, I have another Catriona Ward. Let me get it. We talk about both. I don't know if I've already called this one in another video by her. This is Sundial. This is her, well, this was her newest one. She just released another one called Little Eve. But this is another one that came out this year, Sundial. And then this was her other one, The Last House on Needless Street. So I have read this one. Oh, how do I even describe what this one is about? This one was about this mom who thinks that her daughter is evil. So she takes her to the desert. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. This one was weird. Really weird. And then this one, because like I feel like Catriona Ward has like, her mind is like, she comes up with some wild concepts just based off that one book. I can tell. I do really want to read this one, and I know a lot of people like this one. The Last House on Needless Street. Not really sure what it's about, but I've heard that there's like crazy plot twists in this one too, so I'm really curious to get to this one. And her newest book also sounds really good, so I guess I'm gonna have a little Catriona Ward collection soon. Another horror book that I got in my Nightworms subscription box. It does not like focusing on me. This cover is crazy. This cover is so creepy, I can't do it. This is The Vessel by Adam L.G. Neville, who I think is a pretty big author in the horror world. He has lots of books published. This one is about this mom and daughter, and the mom is like desperate for a job, so she takes this job at this house where this elderly person lives. And then I think the child may become possessed. Sounds extremely terrifying. Like, I do want to read it, but I'm also like, I'm flipping the cover over. I can't do it. Next we have some Eric LaRocca. Picked up 2 of his works. So I have You've Lost a Lot of Blood, and I have We Can Never Leave This Place. I have read this one and I bloody loved this one. It was so good, so weird, so out there, so great. I'll leave a vlog where I read this one. This one, oh, how do I even describe what this one is about? Honestly, you know what? Just go into it knowing nothing. That's what I did, and it was a wild ride. Okay, these books are gonna fall over. This one here is a little thin horror book. I love his covers, they're beautiful. This one, you know, I also don't really know what this one's about. I heard that there is a giant spider though or something. I don't know. I will read anything Eric LaRocca comes out with. His writing is beautiful, and he's also another author that you can tell it just comes up with very strange concepts. Gosh, I have so many books. Sorry, this is gonna be so long. Next we have a book that I absolutely loved. It's a contender for my favorite book of the year, and that is Maps of Our Spectacular Bodies by Maddie Mortimer. This was also longlisted for the Booker Prize, which is why I read it. This was incredible. I also have lots of tabs here. This book was beautiful. So this one, you are following a woman, an older woman who has a relapse of her cancer. You're following her journey and her family's journey and how they're dealing with it. But then the book is also told from the perspective of her cancer. Sounds amazing, right? And then it's also written like very strangely sometimes, and like prose. Sometimes the words are like written kind of, you know, differently. Oh, here's an example. Like on the bottom there, King C. So it really created a very interesting reading experience, but I thought that it actually just enhanced the reading experience. It didn't feel like cheesy. I don't know. This author is also very young and is pretty incredible. how she came up with this, but yeah, I absolutely love this. I highly recommend. This was great. Next we have this one here. This is The Shining by Stephen King. I picked up this little copy because I actually don't own this book. I have read this book and it's one of my favorites, like, books of all time. I do want to reread it to check myself. But definitely one of my favorite Stephen Kings. And I just saw this cover and it matches this one, which I showed in another haul. I don't know, I just think these are so cool and so cute. So this is Salem's Lot. But I just thought these were so cute. I do want to buy like another edition of The Shining, but I just saw this really cheap on Pango Books. That's how it gets me. And I don't know, I just love it. And it has like stills from the movie as well, so there is that. Next we have another sequel. This is Seasonal Fears by Seanan McGuire. This is the sequel to Middle Game, which I really enjoyed Middle Game, so I'm excited to get to this one. I feel like I haven't heard too many people actually read this book and talk about it. No, it's not following the same Roger and Dodger, right? Roger and Dodger. You're not following them. I think you're following another set of two people, but I believe Roger and Dodger like make it, an appearance in this one. So I'm excited about this and I love these covers. Talking about sequels, let's talk about this one of my most anticipated releases of the year. That is The World We Make by N.K. Jemisin. I am so excited to read this. This is going to be the next book that I pick up as soon as I finish the one that I'm currently reading. This is the sequel to This City We Became. Yeah, and I love that one. It's an urban fantasy. You're following all these different people as they embody the various boroughs of New York. So you have like Queens, Manhattan, Brooklyn, and they all have different powers and they have to come together to kill this villain. And there's so much social commentary. It's so much fun. It's her love letter to New York City. It's just great. Hey, another New York City, but they're not as sad. They're not that sad. Yeah, I really love that. I cannot wait to read the sequel. It's gonna be so good. A couple more horror books. We have This Thing Between Us by Gus Marino. This is another horror book that is following, or I should say that's more about grief as well. This husband is grieving his wife. But then it says, a startling, darkly funny horror novel about grief and rage, the loneliness of living between cultures, and the all too well oppressive intimacy of technology. Gus Marino's This Thing Between Us marks the arrival of a spectacular new talent. I think this is going to be 5 stars, one of my new favorite horror books. Like, I'm calling it. I think I'm absolutely gonna love that book. So another horror book that I got in Nightworms is Black Tide by Casey Jones. I was actually anticipating this book. This book sounds so great. It is a post-apocalyptic horror, a survival horror, all things that I love. Cannot wait. My gosh, there's still so many more. Oh Lord. Okay, you know what? We need some wine. I'm almost out. Next, we actually have a middle grade. That is The Clackety by Laura Synth. And I love this cover. Look at this cover. Yeah, this one, I don't know. It was just calling to me. I saw it originally on Olivia Reason Latte's, one of her vlogs, just like randomly, she talked about it. She got it from the publisher and I was like, that looks so cute and kind of gives me like Tim Burton, Coraline kind of vibes, and I just want to read it and know what's going on. I don't know, and it has like illustrations in it. So yeah, I can't wait to read this one. Next, we have another extremely hyped book on BookTube and Instagram, just everywhere. People love this book all around, and that is Babel by R.F. Kuang. I am super excited to read this one. Dark academia set in Oxford with lots of social commentary. Sounds incredible. I can't wait to get to this. Yeah, this is gonna be a good one. This is definitely gonna be one I probably have to wait until the new year to read this, but this is definitely going to be happening soon. Another Seanan McGuire book that I have is Beneath the Sugar Sky. This is the 3rd book in the Wayward Children's series. I bought this when I was in DC. I went to this Solid State Books, and it's a black owned, sorry my back is hurting, it's this black owned bookshop that I've been wanting to check out. So when I went to visit my sister, we went to that store and I saw this book, and this was the only book, I thought it was meant to be, because it was the only book in the Wayward Children series that was in the shop. This was the only one, and is the one that I needed, the 3rd one, because that's the one that I'm on. So I thought it was meant to be. I was meant to buy it. I'm excited about this one. No idea who it follows. We'll see. We are almost there, I promise. Okay, next we have this one, which is kind of a random purchase. This is Medusa by Jessie Burton. I saw it on sale and I don't know, it just kind of caught my eye. Like, it is one, beautiful. It is beautiful, and it's The Girl Behind the Myth, and it's like one of those, look at that, extremely beautiful, like illustrated books. I don't know, it tells her story. I don't know, I just wanted to grab it. Just 3 more. All right, so next we have another T. Kingfisher, that is Nettle and Bone. I feel like most people know what this is about, a fantasy story. I think this like girl has like tasks in the woods that she has to complete, and there is a bone dog. Love that. So yes, can't wait to read this one. I really enjoy T. Kingfisher's writing. We have this hollow zine. Actually, I found this at a indie bookstore in Chicago. This is like written by Chicago artists and drawn by Chicago artists, and it's just a horror comics anthology. Look at that. I think this is gonna be so fun. I don't know, I just saw it and I wanted to check it out. It's so beautiful. Last book is Women Eating by Claire Coda. This one I cannot wait. I was like, when I pulled out all these books, I was like, oh my gosh, this would be another like perfect sad girl book, because I was like, I want to read more sad girl books when I finished The Bell Jar. Oh, I'm running out of time. Okay, so this is a sad girl book about a vampire. That's all you gotta know. All right, guys, that is it. Okay, I literally ran out of room on my SD card. That's how long I've been talking. But anyways, that is the end of my enormous haul. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you stuck around this long, thank you. But no, seriously, thank you so much. I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know if there are any of these books that I need to prioritize. Let me know if there's one of these that you want to read now because of this haul. Yes, I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll catch you all, I'm almost out. I'll catch you all in my next one. Bye.